All right, I am gonna go ahead and call it there. I think for Castlevania 1, because yeah, this is probably gonna keep going for a while. I can tell you with save states, I've definitely made it further than this, but like that's for the sake of time convenience, because otherwise you can definitely like learn, but it'll just take you a long time to do that. So yeah, I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on Castlevania 1 now. So yeah, so Castlevania games, like I was saying earlier on the stream, they're more Metroidvania like. Like that's where the second half of Metroidvania comes from, Castlevania, because those games are more built upon you exploring an area instead of just going from one place to the other. So the original Castlevania games in that regard are more level based. So up to this point, we're really just trying to like complete the levels and not really like exploring the castle necessarily. You're just trying to like avoid the obstacles and make it to the end. So, on that merit of original Castlevania being those kind of games, I still really like this game a lot. I think if you're gonna play it today, however you decide to play it, I think especially with Castlevania 1, you're gonna want to use some save states, because otherwise it's a hard game, but it's fair. It's very but like I was saying earlier in the stream, there's a lot of times where you do have to do some trial and error. Like there's only so reactive you can be, because it is an NES game. Certain things will just spawn on the screen without you knowing, because of the limitations of the system. So you could get a lot of deaths that just were not preventable, because there was no way you could have known that something was going to come hit you. But on your next attempt, now you'll know, and then you can stop it. But if you're really trying to save time, then you're just trying to like not have that happen to you in the first place, and that way you'll be able to complete the game within a timely manner. Especially if you're like an adult gamer and don't only have so much time to like play games, you're really gonna want to use the save states in order to like not to cheese the way, just to make it so that you can finish the game in a time. It's still a difficult game. Like even if you're using save states, at the end of the day, you still got to complete these levels, and they do get harder as you go forward on your way to Dracula. So it's just a neat way to like help you save a little more time in that regard. Now that aside, putting aside all the limitation things that go wrong with that like kind of hold the game back in some regards, I think Castlevania 1 still holds up very well. I really do, because even though it can get a little BS sometimes with the timing and the limitations, at the end of the day, you're just playing like a pretty fun platformer that it's simple to controls, but there's a lot of depth to it, because you have to like learn all the different enemy patterns to like figure out where you have to go, what's the best time to hit the enemies. Like you can't win by spamming, as I was kind of figuring out at the end there, to get those like statues that were flat during the fireballs at you. You cannot spam the whip button. You have to like hit once and then time and then do another hit, so you can block both fires and start doing damage on the statues. A lot of the enemies have their regards, and each boss is different in that regard as well. The bat, you have to like kind of hit with area attacks, because up to that point you're only doing side attacks. Medusa, you got to like figure out where she's going. The mummy, you have to be. It's almost like a race to do more damage, because you're on their level, but they having a projectile towards you, so you have to dodge that even as you're attacking them. And there's two of them, and it does get more and more complicated from that. So the levels have a lot of variety to them. There's not a huge amount of them, but they're difficult from that regard. So yeah, if you're playing through Castlevania 1, definitely definitely use like save states. If you're playing on the NES Classic Edition, this game is also available on the Castlevania Collection if you're so inclined to go into that. And I'm pretty sure it has the same features as well as far as save states are concerned. Yeah, Castlevania 1, if you're ever looking to get into the series because you're curious about it, or you play Smash and you really like the Belmonts, you want to learn them out, wow, let me try that again. Learn more about it. Yeah, no, start from 1. It's perfectly fine. It's a perfectly fine game. Be patient with it, but it's really fun to go through these levels, and just it feels really good when you get through a level, because they're challenging, and they will take you a few attempts. The save states will make it so you can streamline the process, but at the end of the day, it's still going to take you a few attempts to get through these levels. So that is something you will want to keep in mind as well. But yeah, very fun game. I believe Castlevania 4 is a remake of this game, actually, for the Super Nintendo. So you can expect us to come back to to the Castlevania series with Castlevania 4 when we get to the Super Nintendo season. But with that being said, we are going to go ahead and move on